So welcome to the Agile Coaching Exchange. It's our 100th Agile Coaching Exchange this evening, so very special for us. It just shows us how long we have been going on. Seems like many, many years, but me and Back were way back when we all first kicked it off when we were part of the ASOS crew. So a special night for us, and Ben's raising his glass already. It's also our first one back after the summer holiday. So hopefully you all had a nice break and you managed to do something a little bit fun in the 3 days of sunny weather that we managed to get. If you're in Houston, Texas, like Brianna, it's probably sunny all of the time and we can be proper jealous. Anyway, tonight we're very pleased to have Jorge all the way from Peru. We have never had a Peruvian speaker. So this is a first for us, definitely in our 100 episodes. And Jorge works as an Agile coach, and he's super enthusiastic about pretty much everything in terms of game-driven development and how we advance our Agile teams and how we improve what we do. And this is what he's going to be talking to us about tonight, game-driven development. So without further ado, I'm going to hand you over to Jorge. Take it away.
Thank you. Thank you, Helen. Hi, team. Nice to meet you. Right, meet you. Nice to meet you. Thank you very much for the introduction. Well, first, I would like to say that it's a real honor to me to be here, to be part of this meetup, to be a part of this group. So thank you very much for the opportunity. Okay. Yes, today I'm going to share with you this idea about continuous fun and game driven development, GDD. So I'm going to share my screen right now. As I said, well, first. I'm going to introduce myself in some moments, but basically this conversation and this interaction is going to be a kind of, I'm going to explain you what means for me and also in my work continuous fun, right? Maybe some of you hears about DevOps, right? And the continuous integration, continuous testing, continuous stuff, right? A lot of continuous things, right? So basically, I thought that why not continuous fun, right? In the same way that we have continuous everything, integration and testing and so forth. Why not continuous fun, right? As a kind of way to do software or work with our teams and at the same time have fun, right? As part of our job. So that's the idea of continuous fun. And as part of this idea, today we are going to share with you this framework, which is named Game Driven Development. Okay, a game design framework to drive, build, and mature DevOps and software engineering practices through gamification and technical agility. Just to add something to this approach, this message is that actually you can use this framework not only for development teams. Actually, you can use this framework for non-IT teams, right? So you can use it. The information that you're going to see. Okay. Well, about myself, well, I think Helen presented me already, but I'm Jorge Castro. I work as a DevOps program manager, also test manager and agile coach. Here you can see my contact information. So please, if you can add me to your LinkedIn accounts, that would be great. So we can keep in touch. If I can help you with, a business problem or something that you hear in this talk and you like, you can contact me and we can share experiences, or I can share with you, I don't know, experiences or artifacts or whatever, right? That's the idea, right? Building networking. So please add me to your LinkedIn accounts. Okay, let's start with a little video. Okay, in this video you are going to see an example of what is gamification, right? But just to sum up, gamification, is a group of techniques that you apply for a problem that you have, right? And to solve this problem, you apply the principles of games, right? Like competition, like win, losing, right? Team collaboration, get points, right? Something like that, right? So this is gamification. Is you have a real problem in your business or whatever, and you use some elements of the game to try to sort that problem out. That's the idea. So in this video, you're going to see a real example of how you can apply gamification for example, for real problem, right? In the cities in nowadays about, for example, waste on the street, right? Or taking care of our weather, for example, right? So well, you're going to see the example right now. Okay, I'm going to play the video. I think you can hear the sound, but okay. Sorry. Okay, that was just an example of what is gamification. Really funny, right? So you can see here something like, okay, I'm going to take some bottles and put it in a kind of trash, right? You can gamify that, right? You can create some points, some system points, some recognition system, and so forth, right? And make the experience more enjoyable for people, right? Make it fun for people. So the same criteria is it's applied for example, development teams, for agile teams as well. So that is the idea of continuous fun and game-driven development, is try to take those game elements into a real practice of to sort out a problem in our agile teams, for example, right? So that is what you're going to see here today. So let's start with the quotes. This is Yukai Cho, by the way. This guy is a kind of gamification guru. So he has a really nice book. Actionable Gamification is the name of the book. I recommend you, if you can read, I recommend you to do it. Yukai said, imagine a world where there is no longer a divide between what you have to do and what you want to do. That's the point. That's the power of gamification, right? And I think that is something really, it's something usual, right? Sometimes maybe our job are not kind of interesting for us sometimes, right? But what about if we can apply gamification in our jobs, right? Instead of doing our jobs, play a game and in the same time deliver value, for example, right? That's the approach. Another quote is, I think work is the world's greatest fun. Thomas Alva Edison. I think that is a great quote as well. And actually, that is actually one of the goals of this GDD, because it's with game-driven development. What I want is try to make work fun for people, right? So we can enjoy our work. Okay, let's start with the story, right? Let's start with the story. So imagine that you are, as an agile coaches, or you are as a consultant, you're working in a kind of enterprise, a big one with more than 10,000 people, with more than 50 products, with business in different locations, right? Imagine that is the scenario. And imagine that in that scenario, the company has a challenge to improve flow and business through building agile DevOps and more collaborative ways of working at scale for distributed teams, right? So imagine that scenario, right? Imagine that you are at an enterprise, you want to improve the flow, right? And you need to work with different teams in different locations, right? That is the case. Imagine this case, right? You are a huge company, you have business in Latin America, you have teams in Latin America, in US, in Canada, Mexico, and also part of India, for example, right? So it's a huge challenge, right? And that is something, a real story, actually. So so for that approach, if you want to build these new ways of working, Agile and DevOps, we try this first experiment, right? Trainings, maturity practices and roadways, right? But unfortunately, we failed. Training, some independent dojos, some caras, some coding events weren't enough to the final goal, right? Which was building new ways of working at the company in different teams, right? Different locations. So we failed. We didn't build ways of working as consistent as we look for. So we learned about it, right? We connect the dots, and basically we learned something, right? First of all, we learned about, okay, we need a kind of system strategy. It's trainings and dojos are okay, but we need a kind of system strategy, right? So a kind of system that each collaborator in the company for different location can take part, right, and contribute to the adoption of new practices, for example. Also, we learned that the best learning lessons were through games. Yeah, we applied some gamification at that goal, and we noticed that it was really good, right? People like the way that we apply gamification in some scenarios. So that is, we think that for the second experiment, we want to enforce gamification, right? And that is why we created GDD, Game Driven Development. And finally, we also learned about the first failing experience. We also learned we needed sponsorship from our upper managers. Yeah. Unfortunately, due to our organization had a lot of silos, the sponsorship was not so good. So we learned about it that we really need a kind of real sponsorship from our upper managers to move this approach, to move this program. Okay, so another video that I want to share with you. I'm going to pause here. I'm going to begin again. So in this video, please see the video, see the interaction, see the children there, because I'm going to ask you about what you see in this video. Okay. 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 Someone wants to share what did I think that likes about the video? What are the I don't know, the environment, the characteristics of the video? What do you see in the video? Someone can share, please. The interactions, the team collaborations. What do you think? What is the best thing that you see in the video?
Joy.
Joy. Yeah, joy. Yeah, that's right, Joy. Something more?
I was also going to say joy, or a team sport, or having fun and collaboration, all these things.
Yes. Actually, that is the mindset and the principles that have this second experiment, which is, as I said, continuous fun approach, game driven development. So what you see in the video, right, is some childs playing, right? They have a common goal, right, which is put the ball in the basket, right? They have a common goal. They support each other, right? Because all the players has a kind of responsibility, in the value stream, in the process. They enjoy that activity, right? And actually, that is what a game is, right? Soccer or football or basketball or whatever, right? That is the principles of a game. So that was the idea, right? Put those principles, those elements in a real business problem. Okay, so that is the idea of this. Okay, as I said, for this purpose, we create this framework, which is game driven development. This framework has 9 steps. Today, due to the time, we are not going to run the 9 steps, but we are going to focus on one step, which is quite important. Is in number 5, gamification design canvas. Okay, so I'm going to share with you in some moments. I'm going to share with you Miro, so you can join the Miro, and we are going to run an exercise about this canvas. Okay, but just to overview, I'm going to explain you what are the 9 steps that if you want to develop a kind of robust game for a kind of problem that I share with you, imagine that you are a global company with people in different places, right? And if you are working a kind of big program to adopt new ways of working like DevOps or Agile testing or so forth, right? You can follow these 9 steps, right? Okay, number 1 is start with why. You need to understand the problem, basically. What is the problem? What are the pains in your process, in your business, Number 2 is about the, you need to think about how you can gamify your actual architecture, right? Because in your software, you can have some dependencies, you can have some couple system as well. So you need to understand how your game dynamics can fit in this approach. Number 3 is name. You need to create a name for your game. Number 4, game brainstorming is basically, okay, if we have the problem clear, we can share a lot of ideas, right? How we can make this solution fun for the people, right? You can game brainstorming. Number 5 is a canvas, a gamification design canvas, which is a canvas with some process, with some steps that we are going to do right now. We are going to see a canvas right now. We are going to practice a canvas right now. Number 8, game rules. We need to define the rules of the game. Number 7 is the storytelling part. It's any good game or any famous game in the world has a good, strong storytelling part. Okay, so that is part of the framework. Number 8, game character canvas, which is a canvas to define the main characters, the main actors of your game, right? The main characters of your game. And finally, the game business model canvas, which is basically the kind of financial approach to support your game idea to your project, to your company, right? It's part of selling the gamification idea in your company. Okay, we said that, as I said, this is the gamification canvas. This is what we are going to do today. Okay, it's a canvas, a normal canvas that maybe you use, right, as part of your Agile coach, right? This canvas has sections. Okay, has, I think, 8 sections. We are going to see each section in that order in some minutes, right? But that's the idea. The idea is that this canvas is going to be a kind of team exercise. So the team or teams involved the problem that you identify needs to use this canvas to define at least the foundation of a first game for your problem, right? So that's the idea. So you're going to interact with me. We are going to share some ideas, and we are going to complete a canvas. Actually, today I'm going to share with you a real exercise of a real application for this canvas, because in my experience, I worked for a telecommunication company from US for 5 years as a manager. And during that time, we create this game, right? It's the game of testing, which is a game that the main goal of this game is to build agile testing ways of working at enterprise. So this game is quite simple. Actually, it's a web application where all the teams that were part of the DevOps program, they create automated tests, right? Different automated tests, and they put it in the pipeline, the DevOps pipeline. And depending of the runs, depending of the crashes, depending of how they break builds, how faster the tests run, and so forth, the teams win points, right? Get points regarding that. And also they lose points depending of the crappy code that they have in the pipeline, right? So that's the idea, right? As you can see here, this is a kind of dashboard of the game. You can see here that we have some levels, dragons, armies, and so forth. We have some position there. You have information about the teams that are playing the game and so forth, So the game of testing, as I said, was a game to enforce and build new ways of working, agile testing ways of working in cross-functional teams around the world in this large enterprise that I am telling you. So that is an example, right? That the thing that you can build if you use this framework. Okay. So today I'm going to share with you the canvas of this game. So we are going to see the real canvas that's create this game, the game of testing. And just to add something, that's it was a really good game, a really good way to have fun in the same time that you learn DevOps, for example, right? Learn DevOps or learn new ways of working. So, okay, so let's start with a Miro. Okay, I'm going to share with you the Miro right now. I think I'm going to share with you this Miro in the chat. Okay. By the way, this Miro is for you, so you can use it, you can edit it, it's for you. It's for you, so it's for you. Okay, where is that? mind. Okay, here I'm going to share with everybody. Yeah, so please join the Miro, please. Join the Miro. Okay, great, thank you. I'm going to follow. Okay. Okay, first of all, something that I want to say that, as I said, the framework itself has 9 steps, right? Remember that? So in Miro, you are going to see the 9 steps of the framework of game driven development. It's a kind of, it's not robust, but we have some steps, right, to follow. But as I said, due to some time constraints, we are going to focus on the step number 5, which is the gamification canvas. Okay, so this is the canvas that we are going to see. Okay, this stage here. Okay, please follow me. I think we can use that option to follow me. It's here, right? Bring everyone to me. Okay, here. Okay, in this part. Great. Okay, so we are going to start running this canvas. As I said, the main purpose of this canvas is to create the basics of a game, using a real problem, right, that you have in your company. So we are going to use, as an example, the canvas for game of testing, right? The game that I already told you. Okay, that's the idea. Okay, let's start then. Okay, number 1. Right, number 1 is the team name. Actually, in our case, the team name was the Pro. That was our name, the Pro. Okay, you need to define your team name with your team members when you run it. By the way, the idea is that you understand the canvas, you understand the steps, right? What is the information and what the information that I need to put in each step, and also what are the possible questions that we are going to get or we need to ask as a facilitators or coaches, right? And the idea is that you can facilitate this event for your teams, right? If you want to apply this game-driven development or create a game for your problems in your business. Okay, so first, number 1, the team name, which is quite simple, right? Number 2 is about the problem. Yeah, it's about define the problem, the why, right? Remember the why? Okay, it's a problem. So in our case, as I said, we were in the DevOps transformation. We had problems with our tests. We have problems with our Agile testing practices in our teams. We have silos between developers and QAs. We had a bad quality of tests as well, and so forth, right? We had a lot of problems about Agile testing. So about the why, for example, one problem was the lack of test coverage, right? We don't have test coverage, so that is why we have a lot of issues in production in our case. Another problem was that, for example, we had a lot of fake positives in automated test results in the pipeline. So we had some tests that we were running in the pipeline, but they failed. But actually, they failed, but they didn't find issues. They failed because they had bad codes, or we had some kind of performance issues and so forth. So that was a problem as well that we need to fix, that we want to fix. And finally, also another why is sorry, it's separate. Those two, right? Lack of test coverage, fake positive in automated test results in the pipeline. Well, actually, we have more, right? As I said, silos between QA and devs. Sorry. Silos between QA and dev. A lot of manual testing, for example, and so forth, right? Of course, a lack of agile testing mindset in our teams as part of that. Well, but just for example, 2 problems, right? Okay, step number 3 in the canvas. Step number 3 is the game name. Okay, in this case, use brainstorming. Try to ask names for the team, right? Try to ask names, funny names, whatever name, right? Try to do brainstorming, and after that, pick the one that you think it's a better name for your game, right? In our case, at that moment when we create this game, Game of Thrones, was in the television, right? So that is why we decided to use Game of Testing, right? Game of Thrones, Game of Testing. That was the reason, basically. Okay. Funny name, people knows that that's the series, so it was a kind of funny thing, right, for us. Okay, that was the reason of the name. Number 4 is, okay, now that we have the name of the game, now that we have the problem right here, we need to think about, well, okay, what are going to be the objectives, right? The objectives and the purpose of the game, right? So in this case, we have these three. First one, game of testing aims to build DevOps ways of working, right? That was the goal, right? We need to build new ways of working. As I said, you can apply this framework for Agile ways of working, for OKR ways of working, for Lean ways of working. It depends of your business case, right? In our case, in game of testing, was build the DevOps ways of working. The other one is game of testing looks for make continuous testing fun, enjoyable and engageable for the people, right? That's the idea, right? It's not about, okay, I want to train you. This is the code. This is the PDF, whatever. This is the training. This is the course. That's it. You have it. Please do your job. It didn't work for us. It didn't work for us. You know, I need to be honest, right? As I said, we failed in the first experiment, but in the second one, we changed the strategy. Okay, and the other goal the other goal of game of testing was game of testing looks for improved software quality through make continuous testing robust in the pipeline. Yes, as I said, we have this goal of this agile testing adoption, but this was part of a big goal, which was DevOps adoption, right? To improve flow, to improve quality in our products and time to market as well. So that was part of our goals, right? Okay, number 5, actually. By the way, if you have any question, you can do it. You can ask. Okay. Number 5, important people, right? The players, right? We need to define. Okay, if we have this idea of game of testing, who are going to be our players? Are going to be our project managers, our vice presidents, directors, UX, UI people, data engineers. Who, right? Who is going to be our players? In our case, our players, right, were the testers, right? The tester at the beginning. After a while, we include also developers, and we include people from integration services, and we also include people from performance teams and people from data teams, right? But at the beginning, we include only testers at the beginning, right? Okay, and also you need to think about the player levels, right? And in this case, for example, we think about, okay, we need a way to mature the roles, mature these players in the game. So we share this idea, right? Okay, we are going to have a kind of lion level, right? And basically in this level, we are going to have 10,000 points between 6,000 points, right? That was a kind of approach. Also, we are going to have the dragon level, which is the best level, right? The maturity level in player, you know, you're going to have more than 6,000 points. And we are going to have the beginners, the chicken level, which are actually the beginners in the game, you know, from 0 to 1,000 points, right? That was our first idea, right? By the way, in this canvas, the concept of MVP actually is live, you know, it's alive, because we know that this is going to be the first MVP of our game. But of course, after some iteration, after we put this game in production, we are going to get feedback, right, from our players, from our business, so we can change, you know, this approach. Okay, that's what number 5. Okay, the game levels and game players. So now number 6 is here in this part. Okay, is okay. Something that is quite important in any game is the kind of point system, right? How you're going to get points, how you're going to lose points. That is something important in any game that you have. So in our case, again, this is for game of testing game, right? One way to get points is about the number of automated integration tests that you have, right? You create some automated test integration, you run it, you put it in the pipeline, they are going to run, and you're going to get points depending on the results, for example. In the same way, you're going to get points depending on your automated unit test, right? Depending on that. Also, about your automated regression tests in the pipeline. Also, you're going to get points if you find real bugs. If you prevent bugs, you know, you're going to get points in the game. If you keep the test green and run in the pipeline, in the continuous integration deployment, you're going to get points in your team, for your team. And if you break builds, but not in a good way to find bugs or find problems, if you break builds, but because your code is bad, you're going to lose points. Okay, that was the first idea, okay, of this game. So that was, as I said, the MVP of game of testing. Number 7 is, okay, Kanban principle, right? Kanban principle. We need to visualize this, right? We need a kind of dashboard, a kind of radiator that we need to see that information, right? If you, as you can see here in this experience, I'm going to share this with you again, just to remember. Sorry, this one, right? This is our radiator, right? The way that we visualize information. Okay, that is actually the step number 7. How we are going to visualize the information of the game. So for that approach, we create this game of testing board web, which is the one that you already see, a kind of web application with some SQL commands, a web application integrated with the pipeline in Jenkins. That's it. We get the numbers, we put the numbers in the web. That's it. And of course, we do some code to calculate the points, but basically that was the approach. The game of testing board web. Also, we have, as part of this visualization recognition thing, the player of the month. Instead of the employee of the month, we have this kind of recognition, right, to our team members for the best player, right, the guys that are doing great in the game, right. We also have some team metrics per release. As part of the visualization in the game of testing board, we include some metrics, right. As I said, build breaks, number of coverage, number of prevent bugs, technical depth, technical gain, for example. So we include real coding and business numbers in our game, right? So we can visualize that information in our game of testing board. And finally, also we have the classic ranking, ranking of players, ranking of teams, just to see, okay, I'm doing good, I'm doing bad, right? What are my improvement opportunities, right? And so forth. So that is the ranking, right? The kind of ranking of players and teams. So that was the number 7. And finally, in game of testing, again, something that is quite important in whatever game that we want to play or we see is the surprises, right? That is a very human factor. If a game surprises you, most probably you are going to want to play the game again, right? If you have surprises. So that's the idea as well. So as part of number 8, we're going to have game surprises. So for example, we create this time to time. We create this. We made this quick video of a leader each time, so you get a new level, right? For example, right, if you are doing great in the game, we record a video with your managers, with the CTO, with the VP of the company, and in that video, that leader recognized the work of the team, right, in the game, right? So that was a kind of surprise for the team, right? Kind of recognition as well. Also, we have this tester season, right? In the same way that there are some seasons for some specific activities, right? I don't know, hunting or something like that. In this case, for game of testing, we have some specific season, for example, for security testing. So that means that during that time, you're going to get more points if you add security test to the pipeline, for example, right? So imagine that also that we have some compliance thing, right? Imagine some compliance, and we need to run some specific tests or some specific activities. So we have this season. So in that way, we motivate people to focus on that problem specifically and get points depending on the test that they run in the pipeline. So that was part of the season, right? Surprises during the game. Also, in our company, we have town halls, which are the events where our CEO, share the strategy of the company, the results of the company in the quarters. And as part of this speech, we included some information about the game, right? So as part of the speech in these town hall sessions, our leaders also mentioned that we want to congratulate this team in Peru or this team in India because they are doing great in the game, they are doing faster, they are doing product quality and so forth, right? So that was part of the surprises about the game, recognition, right, from our leaders. And finally, special points for rocking players. If you are doing great, you're going to get points. Maybe your points are going to be duplicate or something like that, right? That was part of the idea, this kind of surprises. Okay, guys, that is finally this is the artifact that we are going to see today, the gamification design canvas. I think it's quite easy to follow, right? We start with a problem and then we follow these stages, okay? So is there a question about this canvas? Is there a question about it, please? Because before this, sorry, after this, I'm going to request a kind of breakout rooms, so we can have teams and we can work. You can work as a team and you can use this canvas on the right. You know, we have actually 5. So you need to, as a team, you need to pick one and do the exercise, right? You need to define a problem in your company. You need to define a team name, a team game, and try to share ideas, right, regarding this canvas, okay, as I mentioned. So do you have any question about it before moving to the breakout room session? Just to finish, sorry about that. Well, as you can see here, right, this is a first experiment. You discuss ideas. Probably, I hope that you have fun while you exercise, right? Thinking on the problem, thinking on the name, and so forth. So I hope that you have fun. At least in my team, we had a lot of fun, right? Sharing ideas, sharing crazy problems. So remember that this is a kind of MVP of your game, right? So I'm going to share, I think, yeah. So can you see my screen, right? Are you seeing my screen? Can you see? Yeah, great. So this MVP is the first step of the game, right? This is MVP of a game. So you need to create this game design. You need to run your game in production with your real players. And after that, you need to iterate, right? And you need to improve your game along the time. That's the idea, right? The game is not going to be perfect at the beginning, of course. Of course, it's not going to be perfect. But the idea is that regarding your feedback from your clients, you can improve the game, right? So this is the book that I told you. This is a great book, Actionable Gamification. It's a book with a framework about gamification, so I recommend to use it. It's a very nice book from Yukai Cho. Reference, I want to share this paper with you, with Helen, so you can share this paper with the team members and you can get the information about the reference. Finally, team, from my end, remember that we all have dreams. I have dreams, and please help and share more, right? Remember that. Thank you very much.